3, 2, 1. And there we are. Good evening, Sam.
Good evening.
Have you got some experience with live streams?
I've been on a few domain shows. I've appeared on the domainshow.com, which is hosted by PageHouse. So yeah, I've been on a few of them.
Yes. And have you seen Domain Shopper? Yes.
Yeah, Domain Shopper. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I haven't been on it, but I know a lot of people that are.
That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. So, could you tell us more about yourself, please? And I'll put you a bit on the big screen. Yes.
Okay, no worries. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just gonna.
Yes.
I've got so many things running at the moment. So I have a background of domain investing in the co-UK scene, .uk scene. I've been involved in the industry for a long time, investing probably since 1998, but
wow.
Didn't take it up as a full-time career. I was working in IT, and then I moved on to restarting domain investing in 2009-10, and then did it full-time from there then, and now holding a lot of domain names. So it's been an interesting journey. I when I first started the full-time game,
okay,
I only had a small amount of money, and I was getting married at the time, and I just took the risk, and I didn't look back. And what I always say to people, it's not easy work, but you can make money in domains if you know what you're doing.
Yeah. So the first thing that comes in mind, I just can't forget, you have around 15,000 domain names, do you?
Yeah. So that's in between .uk's and I've got obviously some .coms, .cos, .nets. So approximately with all my names grouped together, that's the total amount. But mainly my main investment is co-UK and .uk, which is approximately about just under 10,000. So the 5,000 is my new acquire of .coms. I'm getting into more .coms these days, because since .uk has been launched,
yes,
I just sort of got put off the UK a bit. I still love the co-UK, but I'm a co-UK guy. I'm not a .uk.
Plus
yeah.
Sorry, Colin.
Yeah, I understand why people are into .uk and they love it, and they love flipping domains on Flip and Domain Law, etc. like that. But that's not really my that used to be my game, but not anymore. I've sort of advanced into investing in the top co-UK names, and I don't care about the .uk's
Can I ask you, have you got live stream running as well on another screen or something? Yes, if you could switch off the sound, please. And good evening, everybody. Today we have one of those mental domainers. I call you guys mental. Once you go above 1,000, 5,000 domain names, that's mental. Sam.
Yeah, it's I did have something running. Sorry there.
How do you
I can't. I manage it all myself, and it's hard work. And
absolutely.
I'll be honest, it's got to the stage where I've had so many because obviously I bought domains in loads of different circumstances. So I bought them in promotion prices from different registrars. I've got my own tag, so I have a lot of my names on my own tag, but then I have them spread across different registrars. It can come very stressful, early mornings, late nights, and I've actually got to the point where sometimes I've run myself completely down because I'm like literally trying to update all these domains and buy all these domains, and then it's just, and not only that, since last year I've been spending more time in development mode, not really concentrating on the sales, concentrating on developing the best names and turning them into sites that are making money, because I see more value in that. Because if you want to sell the domain and it's making money, you're gonna be able to get a better price for it. Rather than just letting it sit on a parking page or letting it sit for a for sale page. Because I've got the skills to do it, I've been starting to do it, and some of them are starting to make a little bit of money, and you go from there, and then you work on it, and and it's been a journey for me, and rather than looking at this is the thing, I used to look at the drops every single day. Oh, this is dropping, that's dropping, that's dropping. Oh, I'll load that in the system, because I had my own drop catching system. I've got my own drop catching system, and I used to love it. But like everyone knows, the drop catching game changed a lot because there was a lot of cheats, a lot of multi-taggers, a lot of people that know a way around to always catch the domain. So that got a bit boring for me.
We'll ask that. Yes. Go on.
That got a bit boring for me, because it's just, you're never going to catch anything, because there's one particular guy or one particular group of people that are always catching the name.
Really?
And
what are they?
There was the Bulgarians at one point that had a load of tags. And then there was loads of other people, but I just got bored of it, because the excitement of drop catching was anyone could catch the domain. Now It completely changed. We all used to catch 3 letters and nice 1 words, but I just completely got bored of it, because it was no point even loading anything in the system. I still have a drop catching tag in it, and I've got a system that runs and catches names, but you can never get a decent name anymore. And
really?
no, not like you used to. It's completely changed. So I got away
Bloody
from
Bulgarians. I'm Latvian.
No. It's I only say that because there's been so many different people doing it, and it's I suppose it used to be fun, and I think a lot of people are the same. The old school guys, people like me, just got bored of it, and I just don't see any money in it anymore. The names that are dropping these days are not that great anyway, compared to some of the names that I own,
Well, so guys, you are most welcome to ask your questions, and I will ask one question, and then I'll put up already. There are questions coming in, or let us do it like that.
What are you developing? So I won't say the domain name, because I don't want to disclose with people looking into it and stuff. But I'm developing basically a site that sells beds and mattresses, and anything that I can affiliate, and it's got a good markup price. So anything with a good affiliate price that I can get good commission on. I'm looking at my domains that have got the traffic, and I'm going to I develop on top of that the domain, and I will work on it, and I'll work with the content. I'll get it on Google Newsfeed, and I'll try to make money out of it. And a lot of people say, "Oh, how long does it take?" Well, how long is a piece of string? I've had sites that have taken a year to develop, and then they're making money after that year. You can't rush it, and Google loves content. Like we all know, it loves content. It's like I run a couple of sites for domain brokering, etc., and I do a lot of updates, and I get emails all the time. Oh, can you broker this? Can you broker that? Problem is half the domains that I get through are complete rubbish. So but I rank on the first page for Domain Broker UK. So so everything takes time. And
first page, which position?
I don't know. I haven't looked recently, but it's normally it's normally 3 or 4 down. So, it's not bad. It's not at the top, but with the affiliate sites, I aim to get them right at the top, depending what it is. But I normally use a keyword domain.
So can you give us one? Can you give us one website of yours you are proud of, you've developed and you are proud of? You can actually show it on the screen if you wanted to.
Let's have a look what I've got here. Well,
15,000 domain names. Sam, you're crazy. That's absolutely beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. I would go absolutely mental because of anxiety or yes, but we'll get back to that. Yes.
Hold on a sec. I've got so many browsers open. I don't know what I'm doing. So the one I started, it's not one I'm proud of, but one that makes consistent money. I paid $50 for the script, and it's got a good link profile on it, and
nice.
It's a very simple site. It's speed-cameras.co.uk, and I get a lot of traffic to it.
And is that .com? You said yes.
No, so speed-cameras.co.uk. And when people type in check, a lot of people are typing in check to see if I've been caught speeding, or check this speeding, or check that speed. It's not a good site. It's just basic, and it's a script where they put their number plate in. It used to be able to tell their car, but that stopped working. But it's got AdSense around it, and it makes consistent money. Only a couple of quid a day, but it's just the easiest money site going. And I started that playing with that when Acorn Domains they were going earn a quid a day, and then you make £365 a day, and it's simple as that. Play with a site, content, Google AdSense, and if you can earn £1 a day and then spread it across loads of sites, you're laughing. But obviously you want to increase that £1 a day. Because £1 a day isn't that great.
So what do you make in total?
What, for the
from your website? And we've got some interruption. And we'll definitely be back. So good evening, everybody. And today we have Sam. We have several types of connections available, so Sam will definitely be back. And yes, let us wait till the connection resumes. And Sam has got 15,000 domain names, and did he say 10,000 of them approximately are in .uk market, so mostly .co.uk's. And let us wait for Sam to return. And while Sam is returning, let me put up HostMaria ad.
Your smile lights up a room. There's not a single thing that I would change about you, 'cause you're perfect the way that God made you.
So yes, now we are waiting for Sam to come back. He panicked when you asked about money. Well, that is one of the questions, isn't it, about the money? I just know the frustration and everything. And whoever has the business. Oh, and Sam is coming. Sam is coming back. Sam, welcome back.
How you doing? You all right?
Yes,
something wrong with my internet.
James is actually saying that you panicked when you heard about the money.
Yeah, what was the last question?
Sam, can I ask you, before we pull up the question, how do you feel knowing that annual renewal fees will be, so you have your own tax, so 10,000, so you are paying around 45k pounds, that's, let us say, $50, and 150, so 100K USD, very, very roughly, a bit up on renewal fees. How does it make you feel? And have you frozen again? No worries. Money questions. Let us again, some interruptions, maybe some updates are going in the background. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. And this is fantastic. And greetings to all the UK and the worldwide domain name community. Me, myself, my name is Helmuts Meskonis. I'm founder of HostMaria. HostMaria is run. It is a trading name. We have applied for trademark in the end of the last year. And yes, and it is run by No Stress Limited. Myself, I'm based in the UK. I'm well traveled. I've been in the States. I've studied in South Korea and been everywhere. And yes, and I've settled in the UK for the last 10 years, a bit more. I've been in domains as well for a long while, and I've been lucky seeing domain shop. And I would love to bring the information about domain names to European communities, especially to the Latvians, to the Latvian community and Belgium one. I have to admit, I'm a bit selfish in this case, as I do own 10 LL Belgium names, B names, and 31 LLs, so LV Latvia and Las Vegas. And of course, in order for us to be able to sell a name, we have to educate. We have to educate the market, especially if the market is quite surprised about your prices. And one of the things I can say, what Domain Sherpa has done, they have educated so many of us, and have educated and explained how to justify that price. And I've broken some big names as well. And yes, now I'm totally into web hosting. Let us wait for the. So who is this guy? BHD. Is he the biggest? Or is that a group? Is he the biggest drop catcher in the UK? That's interesting. So let us wait for everybody to come up. So what about you? Let us see. Hey, whoever is watching, how many domain names have you got? In my case, I try to keep my portfolio as tiny as possible. Really, I want my portfolio to be I would prefer 90% of the domain names to be LL ones. At some point, I was into triple Ls, but then I understood that the variety of them is so huge, and in order to capture a fraction of the market, you need so many of them. And then again, the renewal fees, and this is something I admire about huge domainers. Their guts, their balls to have those 10, 15, 20,000 domain names. And especially when you see Americans, they're not paying £4 for a domain name. They're paying the full price, $10, $11, $12 per domain name. And when you have 20 domain names, that's $250,000 a year. That's mental. It should put some negative feelings, I think, on you. Yes, but maybe it is different. Maybe it makes you be more disciplined. Bought my first 7 today for investing. Ooh, okay, congratulations. What have you bought, James? And meanwhile, we are waiting for Sam to return. We have tested Sam's connection actually via his iPad is really good. Let us see, maybe he uses that one. So what names have you bought? And let us see. let's see. So now we have 17 people watching all across the different channels, and we are streaming at the same time on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, Periscope. Yeah, all the good streaming platforms. So 2.co.uk ones. And when buying .co.uk ones, did you buy .uk as well? It would be interesting to see the first names you bought. And yeah, and feel free, of course, to advertise your. What is your best name? What is your best name? So whoever is watching, interesting, blah blah blah. What is your best name? Yes. One of the names I would love to have is wine.co.uk. Who owns the name? Maybe it is Wizard. Maybe it is Wizard. Maybe. Although so many people have went into wine business and they have burned. But the domain name is, yes. I'm one of those guys who understands both reasonings behind the brandables and behind the keyword ones. Yes. Sam, we're back.
I had to reset the Wi-Fi router. The whole thing just crashed.
Oh, no worries. Absolutely no problem at all. Almost no people dropped. We've got 18, 17 people watching all the time. So absolutely. People are patient.
No worries.
Sam, can you share your feelings, please? Just explain to me, as one of the main questions is, how do you avoid anxiety? I organize my business and I've got my whiteboard.
Yeah.
And I've got monthly expenses. And whenever I see that whiteboard, my heart just starts running,
Yeah. Well, since this
employees, yes.
Since this COVID and all that, I think I've been sent over the edge because being stuck at home a lot, and then the kids at home and that, it has anxiety has really sort of risen to me. I've been it's because obviously you're looking at all the renewals and you're thinking, right, do I really need to renew that? And I get hundreds of the bloody things on a daily basis. And obviously I've got a lot of names, but I need to really start trimming the stuff that I shouldn't have bought. Especially, people won't like this, but I bought a lot of free letter .uk's. They weren't a good investment.
Really?
The sell-through rate on them for end users isn't very great. I sold a few at roughly $2,000-3,000, maybe $4,000 for the .uk's.
Okay.
And compared to a co-UK, you can get a lot more money.
But if you're selling .co.uk, three-letter name, you have to have a .uk as well. You just have to have. No?
Well, not really. No. All the ones I've sold to an end user of .co.uk, they've never wanted the .uk, or they don't
really?
know or they don't know what it is. I sold moy.co.uk. I think it was a couple of thousand, and that was I think it was last year or the year before. Can't remember now.
Okay.
And they didn't even know about the .uk, and unless you mentioned it, or unless you say, here you go, you get the .uk free. It's like, why would you mention it? Because you're going to get that extra sale. Most people do that. Some people give it away, but it's like the example for free.co.uk. The guy didn't want the .uk, but he spent 200 grand on the .uk. Why wouldn't you want to buy the .uk for 20 grand? Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. So it just shows you.
Yes.
It shows you 200 grand for the .uk or 20 grand for the .uk. Everyone keeps going, yeah, .uk is going to be great. It's going to come out. We're going to do this and do that. But no, I don't see it. All my leads, 99% of my UK leads are co-UK. you know, .uk. No, they don't. They don't inquire. Doesn't matter what name it is. They don't inquire, you know. And I hold thousands of free letters, and I'm rare to get an inquiry for them. You know, I might get like a £200 offer or something like that, and it's just not enough for me. You know, I only tend to sell my domains at end user pricing.
Okay.
I used to sell a lot on domain law, but not anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to take at least 10, 15 years. It's going to need
Probably. Yes.
It's going to need the amount of time that Co-UK's had. You know, it just shows you the people that own the 1995, 1996 regs, and they didn't want to have the .uk. Just shows you what was going through their mind. You know, they own a really good .uk, and they just let it go. Maybe they didn't know. I'm not too sure, but for me, yeah, some of the .uk's might fetch a hefty price, but I'm not really that interested in them. I'll pick them up if they're cheap enough, or if they're reg free. You know, I'll pick them up. But you know,
Sam, what does your wife? You're married, yes?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Yes. How many kids have you got?
I've got 2. Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
4 on this side.
4. Yeah,
Yes.
expensive children are.
Can't work from home, absolutely. So I've got my nice office, and yes. But what does she say about your business?
She says I talk about. I'm addicted to domains, and I'll be honest with you. I'm on Zoom chats all day long talking about domains, and I'm part of many groups, not UK related. I'm mainly part of dotcom groups, with Skype groups, Zoom groups, Discord groups. We're all talking about domains 24/7. So no matter what time of day, if I want to talk domains, I can. And there's a Zoom chat that was on actually a minute ago, and these are the Americans, and we're chatting domains and mainly .coms, and it's good to network with domainers and seeing what they're registering, seeing what their niches is. And I find in the UK that people are not really doing that so much. There's just forums. There isn't like lots of interaction as in video Zoom calling and stuff like that. But the Americans are just, you know, they've got bucket loads of money, and and the .com industry is completely different to the UK.
Oh, Americans are absolutely crazy. Yes.
Yeah, their budget is ridiculous. You know, like when I was chatting to a guy the other day, and I said, "What domains have you bought recently?" And he goes, "Oh, just bought this .com, 150 grand." And I'm like, "What?" You know what I mean? And like it's just like, but they all, you know, they're not just domains. They're investors, they're property developers. They've got lots behind them. But I'm part of quite a few groups that chat with the guys, like Michael Seiger, and all the guys on the top end of the scale with the top .com domains. And it's good to chat to these guys because I'm in quite a few chats on Zoom chats with them, and seeing what they're buying, seeing what they're selling, seeing what offers they're getting on the top names. Obviously, it's not compared to the UK side of things, because the UK side of things is only a small fraction. But it's interesting when you say what names you've got, and they actually appreciate the CCTLD market, and I think the CCTLD market is going to continue to rise. My prices keep going up. If I don't sell them, I will just keep holding them. I've gone to the stage where I don't sell unless it's a really good price now. If not, I'll just keep carrying on buying more and more until, you know, yeah, until I run out of money.
And then you've got to start selling. So what do you do when what do you do? You've run out of money. We all been there. I've
Yeah.
been there several times this
I have
month.
to start selling domains then.
So how do you do quick sales?
Okay, so I've got a network of people that I could sell a free letter to someone now. I could just text them on the phone. I've got a few big investors that are constantly buying, but I wouldn't get the price that I want. And
And
you
what
know,
would be the
when-
prices? What would be the
so
prices?
like a lot of people would probably, if I was to sell them something like, I've got kim.co.uk, they'd probably offer me $1,000 or something. Yeah,
Kim.
Kim, Kim.
Oh,
Yeah. Now
Oh.
that's a 20 grand name, you know, maybe more, because imagine Kim Kardashian coming after it. You never know. She's starting a brand in, she started a clothing or something brand in the UK. You just don't know. I had a guy, he owns about 25 Chinese restaurants in London, and he goes, "Oh, how much do you want for Kim?" And
Okay.
I quoted him 25 or something like that, and he goes, "No, I wouldn't pay more than 500." Yeah, I mean, you get stuff like this all day long, and you know, sometimes you just think you've either got to just put a big price on it with a bin with no reserve, and that's what a lot of my names I do now. If they're good, or I'll just keep them with a GoDaddy and let them negotiate, because I've had last year I had quite a few sales from GoDaddy Afternic, and because 123 Reg is integrated into GoDaddy Afternic now, so when you list your names on Afternic,
Okay, I didn't know that.
yeah, 123 Reg, you can buy them through there. So yeah, so if you don't list your names on Afternic, I would, because you know, if you put a price on it, you're likely to get a sale, because the GoDaddy platform's so big. You know.
So what are the? Can we go through the prices of, let us say, LLLs? Well, and you would be probably be the best one. So let us put three stages: liquidation price, as we were talking. We need money today, and then the wholesale price, domainer to a domainer, and then domainer to end user.
Okay, so
Thank you.
So if it was a domainer price, you'd probably look, depending what the letters are. If they're poor letters, they're poor letters, they're like 50 quid, right? Poor letters. If it's a decent letter, could be like 500, 600 quid. So, and that's to a domainer. Obviously, to another investor, they could probably pay maybe 1,000. Most of them are always offering 1,000, 1,500.
Okay.
They don't tend to go more than that. If it's a .co.uk, maybe more. You could get a couple of thousand, depending what the name is. If it's a really good. Let
us talk about .co.uk's only now, please.
Okay, yes. Just co.uk's. Okay, so
thank you.
If that was an investor, probably 1 or 2K, yeah, for a free letter that they would want to buy straight off, because they know that they could probably sell it for 10. And,
yes.
I used to sell to one particular guy, and he used to just hold out for 10K on all the free letters. And I think he's still holding out on. He sold a few, but he's still holding out on a lot. The more you have, the more chance to sell them. You know, there's people like Giraffe that own 8,000 top free letters, and and they don't get a massive amount of inquiries either. So it's just a pick and mix, isn't it? You know, people think, oh yeah, free letters were like gold years ago, where people were bidding on domain law, like, you know, good prices, but now there's just so many dropping. It's just, I think it's dulled the market a bit, and you've got to have the right end user for the right free letter. You know, I thought buying loads of free letters that I'd that they'd sell like hotcakes, but obviously people were offloading them because they weren't selling. But
and recently, Sam, I think I posted it on NamePros or something. Sometimes I run my own software that checks the domains that will be dropping, and I'm checking mostly just LLs. And for fun, I did triple Ls. And there was I think, a portfolio of around 2,000 or 2,500 .co.uk's were just about to expire in a month or something.
Really?
Who was that domainer? Was it you?
So what was it? How many domains were expiring?
My memory is
25,000 was it?
2,500, I think.
2,500. That would probably be someone like I think Giraffe. They hold a lot of free letters, and they probably letting a lot expire, and then
and there was a month. There was 1 month, and then I actually started. I wanted to catch few of them, but then they and within that period of the last month, they renewed all of them, at least the good.
Yeah, because that's what it's like with me. I used to let a lot of domains expire, and then last minute I used to renew them, because obviously you're playing with your credit limit. Yeah, I mean, with nominate credit limit, because when you've got a lot of names, you got a lot of renewal bills, and they're stacking up, and
yes,
and registrations and stuff like that. So like obviously when you're catching domains and stuff like that, that all adds up. But last year I acquired some really nice domains, but they're names that they're called my pension fund, for the future.
What is your pension fund?
Domains.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. So instead of everyone raves about Bitcoin and everything else, but I always like other people said to me, domains are always going to go up in value if they're good names. But I still like buying names hand reg as well. People say hand reg is dead. It isn't. I've made a lot of money on hand reg over the years. I've made a lot of money on drop catching when it was good, going back a couple of years now when it was better, because I was catching better names, and then I was flipping them quickly to traders. Everyone's got a different business way of running the business. If you want quick turnover, you flip it to someone you know. If you want a long turnover, you flip it to an end user, but you get better money. Mine's changed a lot. It's just wait and don't outbound. Just wait for the right end user to come along. And if he doesn't come along, I'll just keep renewing it.
So how do you sell domains to end users?
Obviously, inquiry comes in, and want to buy this name, blah blah. Most of mine on Dan.com. A lot of them on Dan. So some of them are priced, some of them are not. So we'll negotiate on Dan, or if they come through Afterneck, we negotiate with GoDaddy Broker. But I normally have a price in mind if I know what it is. I've had a few big offers on PCR this year, and you can imagine why, because you know what PCR stands for, don't you?
PCR.
PCR. No. COVID testing, PCR.
Oh God.
Yeah. So funny enough, I had I think it was £18,000 offer on PCR.co.uk, but they just disappeared. And then I registered some other PCR related domains, thinking, all right, because obviously there people are after PCR stuff. So I registered PCR test, PCR testing, PCR, loads of them, and I hand regged them.
What is your asking price for PCR?
It was 50 grand, but
50 grand.
I wanted in between that. It's
so they offered 18,000. And
they offered 18 grand. I think we got them up to, I think they were going up to 23, but it was coming through another broker, not a GoDaddy broker, someone else. And then they went through GoDaddy and speaking to GoDaddy broker. And then they got to the 23 grand, and then they disappeared. And then I was just like, right, okay. So they'd come through on private email first, and then they went to GoDaddy broker. But I know that's a powerful three-letter, and the industry on PCR. If you look at PCR, the industry's growing and it's worth a lot of money. I just need to sell it at the right time, obviously, because anyway. So going back to, I hand registered a load of names on PCR when I got that offer. I hand registered PCR testing.
Okay.
And I put it on GoDaddy for 3,495, and I sold that recently, and that was a hand reg. So yeah, I mean, you just don't know, and funny enough, the .uk wasn't even registered. It was available.
So .uk was available for hand reg, and instead they just went.
So they registered the .uk, and then went and bought the .co.uk. So because they knew the .co.uk is more important. So they saw it on GoDaddy. They registered the .uk on GoDaddy. Then why did they buy the .co.uk? Because they know the .co.uk is the one. So yeah, it just goes to show, isn't it?
Wow. What is the most recent domain you have sold?
That was it, PCR testing. Yeah.
So PCR testing.
Yeah, so that was recent.
And before that?
Let's have a look. I sold globalhealing.co.uk. Yeah, and that was like $2,000.
Global Healing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't even remember me registering it. I was just like, why did I register this domain?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
what went through your mind?
So this is the funny thing. Everyone seems to think that it has to be one words and has to be, certain things. But you start to learn what you've sold over the years, and then you pick that up and you register certain things. And obviously you look in Google and look at what you previously sold, and if I can pick up names at a good price, I'll just register them. And some days I'll register like 200-300 names, and then I can't remember what I've registered, and then I'm like, right. And I said to the wife, I said, I got offered for this domain, and she's like, oh, what is it? And I'm like, I didn't even know I owned that one. Yeah. And then you still got to go in the whois and check that you own it, because a lot of sometimes I've sold names and I don't own it anymore. I've sold it previously, or it's just disappeared, or something. That's the problem with the maintenance. My admin is a bit can be a bit bad sometimes. Sometimes I forget to check the renewals. Obviously not on my top names, but on the names that I've just registered hand reg. Because I'm registering for loads of different registrars. But it's like a proper, I'd call it like it's a real addiction, because I'm registering domains like when I'm out and about on the phone. Like if someone would text me and say, oh, there's a promotion going on at the moment, and I'm like, quick, get the laptop out. do 200-300 domains at a go. But I've done well out of it, and I know what I'm doing. But go back to the days where I was doing it, 2003 or whatever, and just hand regging like all these weird ones. I couldn't sell them. And you've got to know what you've sold, and you've got to know who you're selling to. I might have people that I can sell to. I know dentists. I know people in the car industry, and sometimes I even like say to people, look, would you be interested in a name like this? And they say, yeah, I'll give you 600. And then you go after that name. That's what I used to do a lot. I used to catch names that people were after, and they had a bounty. That's another way I make money. But now my models changed a lot, because I feel that developing one or two sites, or several of them, and make a constant revenue, and then that gives you more money to buy more domains, and then bring in that more money, because the more domains you got, the more likely you're going to sell them.
Sam, there is a rumor.
What's the rumor?
You've got quite substantial part of your portfolio, or you've got quite substantial piece into ll.co.uk's.
What, LL or LLL?
Two-letter ones.
No, I don't. But I worked with a lady called Angie Barrows, and she is called AnyWeb, and she owns the largest two-letter.
Oh, she
portfolio.
she was the one who owns all the villages and everything.
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm very good. I've always been
Good.
friendly and friends with her, and I worked with her before. I used to broker a lot of her. I used to broker her names, and I used to acquire two letters for her on behalf of her. But she's got a very nice portfolio, but of course,
Yes.
she doesn't want to sell them unless they're really good money. And the people that have got the two
if she's watching, hello. Thank you for buying off me iu.co.uk. I sold it to you.
Oh,
Thank
right.
you. Yeah, I just had to liquidate it. Took my family to Spain, had a break, and I came back with. Yeah.
That's good. Do you hold any more two letters or not?
Well, yes, I have 10 Belgium ones and 31 LV, Latvia or Las Vegas.
Oh, nice.
And that is 85% of my domain portfolio, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I've been there where you have those crazy numbers of domain names. At one point, I dropped around 100 dotcoms, or maybe 100 to 200 city names, or something like that, around with population around 1,000.
Okay.
I just can't cope with that frustration, really.
Yeah, it's hard work, and obviously now my portfolio's increasing with dotcoms, and it gets even more complicated.
Why dotcoms?
I just feel that I can make more money with dotcoms rather than I know for a fact on co-UK's I can sell them in the thousands range all day long, but when you're talking like 6-7 figures, dotcoms are all are going to be there. Like with co-UK's, they don't sell for 200 grand every day. You don't get a free.co.uk sale like that. You'll get the smaller sales, and when you talk to the .com guys, they're like, "Oh yeah, I just got a 100 grand sale," and they talk to you like it's £1,000 sale. You know what I mean? It's just like
Totally.
So. I deal with these guys every day, and I'm seeing the sales stats because they're telling me what they're selling, and these guys are sort of they've got 6,000-7,000 dotcoms. They're in big scale as well, but they're in .com scale. So my plan is to sort of scale down on the UK and scale up on the com. But I will still keep the UK portfolio that I've got at the moment, but I'm scaling it a bit down on the .uk side. I'm not selling the .uk's, So I know like I should keep renewing them, but how many years do I renew some of them? If they're good ones, I'll keep them, but if they're not that great, I'll just let them go, because why keep renewing thousands of them?
So about dotcoms, what is your strategy? Going after 3-letter ones?
No, 2 words, so I can get them good prices. 2 words .coms.
For example?
Just something like something direct.com I go for, like something that's got a good keyword at the end of it. I've sold loads of hyphenated .coms, loads of hyphenated.
Really?
So I'll target names in the unhyphenated ones, and I'll sell the hyphenated ones. But I put them at reasonable prices, all in the sort of 3,000-4,000 range, And the thing is, when you get involved in the auctions, it can come quite expensive, and you can be spending a lot of money. you know, so I sort of, I don't really get involved in the auctions that much these days, but I have been involved in some of the auctions. I would like to own a couple of freeletter.coms, but the price is pretty crazy.
4-letter. You can actually.
Freeletter.coms. I want them. Yeah.
Adam was actually saying that you could get 3letter.com for $5 to $10K. Do you think that's possible?
What for? What?
L-
$5 to $10?
Yes, $5 to $10,000.
Oh yeah, you could on Name Pros and places like that with the poor quality ones. I think you could if someone's desperate to sell it. But there's a lot of people on LinkedIn that they have loads of free letters and they're trying to sell them all the time, but they're not that cheap. They're normally about 20-30 grand. But with a free letter, you can get good money for it if it's a good one. You know, you could buy one for, like, if you could get it for 10K, you could probably sell it for 100. You know, for the right buyer.
Absolutely.
If not more, you know, some of them have sold up to 1.5 million. So if you've got the right one, you know.
So can we talk about .com sales? The ones you can disclose are 2-word ones, just to encourage the viewers.
All right. So
one of my missions here, and I started live streams with 27.be. I started live streams to the Belgian market. As once I went into the Belgian market, and I tried to explain that the asking price of these 2-letter domain names are in these thousands, these thousands. They just said, "Hey, buddy, you are crazy. You're crazy." So there was no other way as to start to educate them.
yeah,
And now the live streams went to the HostMaria. So let us give some numbers, please. Thank you.
Give me a second. I'll just have a look. Which one?
And I could say I did help one company, one London-based company, to acquire a 2-word .com for $50,000. They needed to start a franchise. So whoever for new domainers, if you are watching, once a company wants to make that step outside the borders of their own country, they will need .com.
So I sold just example. I sold Thrive Consulting, and that was 3,495, and that was a hand read. You know, so you know.
How do you feel? How do you feel when you saw that sale coming in?
That was great because I bought it on promo at $1. So you know, you know, profit margin has always been, you know, I've always been high profit margin and whatever.
Mari has got a great question. What's the ratio of registering hyphenated .coms to selling them?
Yeah, obviously you've got to have quite a lot of them. So I think I did a particular, what did I do? So we must have registered about 1,500 hyphenated .coms, and I must have sold, I think it's about 5 or 6 out of that 1,500. So yeah, the ratio isn't that great, but you've got to remember I bought them at promo price, so I was quids in on 1,500. I only paid 1,500. You know, I was buying them at $1. So I always go for, like, I'm not going to. If I go for a promo, I'll go in hard. I'll register a lot, and you know, 90% of the first sale that I get, I pay for the whole lot. You know, some might not sell, some I might renew, some, you know, it all depends.
Can I ask you, how do you get these promos? So GoDaddy $1 promo, is there a secret? As look, I haven't looked into it, but I know that you can, the normal thing, they protect their money, of course, as they have to pay more for it. So it can be used only once. Huh?
Yeah, so there was a particular event with Network Solutions, and this is going back. It wasn't last year. I think it was the year before. You could register 5 dotcoms for $5, and you're only allowed to register 5. But the trick if you log back in, if you log out and log back in, you could do it again. And me and a few people were doing that in Name Pros, and I had a competition with another guy, and he must have got nearly 1,800 of them.
Oh God!
And we were comparing the sales, but we both did well. It was just that was when I was just playing with the .coms, and I was just like, oh, that sounds nice, but people don't like touching the hyphenateds.
And what did you do once the renewals came back in?
What's that once?
So it was 2 years ago. Yes, you used this promo. A year later, renewal.
Yeah, so some of them I renewed, some of them I let drop. And funny enough, a couple were just about to drop, and then I sold them. So then I had to get them. I had to renew them and then get them out to the registrar. You know what I mean? Like there's loads of ways of. I've sold like .nets and .orgs as well. I look at certain names and I go, oh, that's going to sell. Sometimes it doesn't, but a lot of the times it does, because I've just got the knack for knowing what names are going to sell, because I've sold them in different extensions.
Okay.
So that's how I've done it. Co-UK, if you've sold something in Co-UK and you see it hyphenated in .com, you might sell it in .com. Same thing with com. If you see something that's nice in .com and then it's available in .co.uk. I've sold I had divorce-lawyer, right? And that was, I think I caught that and I sold that on Cedo.
Okay, we've got connection thing.
Hello.
Yes, Sam.
Am I back?
Yes, now you're back. Yes.
Hello. Did you hear me?
But your speed is dropping. Maybe you could switch your camera back to 720. It will consume less. It will consume less bandwidth. Please. We can do that quickly.
We're back.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
So what was that? What was I saying? I can't remember that.
So if you you sold a divorce-lawyer.com.
Yeah, so I sold that, and that was I caught that name, and I think I had it a bin on it in Cedo, and I think it was about 3,000 something, 3,500 I sold it for, and I was just like, it's not bad, and it wasn't even listed on. It wasn't even parked there, and I've sold a lot of hyphens actually in Co-UK, and a lot of people don't like them, but I've sold a lot of hyphens.
The prices.
A lot of
the price range. What will be the price range?
Price range between between low 500 to 4K, 5K. Hyphens. Some of them you might be able to push a bit more, but it's a hyphen at the end of the day.
Are you still using promos to buy?
Still buying on promos, yeah. So
any secrets, or they should say secrets? Any secrets that can be shared?
Not really. The only secrets are, I think everyone else knows, is you log into somewhere like LCN and do the promo that gives you a couple of Co-UKs for free, and then once you've done that, you log out and register under a different name. That's probably been used loads of times. But a lot of non-one are not doing many promos at the moment, and they should be really. Since I spend so much money with them. Normally we'd get like a £1 deal or some kind of deal, but at the moment they're not really doing it.
No?
No.
It is actually quite famous for their monthly different.
Yeah, they stopped all that. They stopped all the deals and that. You know, that's why, you know, because I've got to renew all the .uk's now. It's doubling up my bloody bill, you know. You know, so that's another reason why I'm not going to keep all the .uk's, because, you know, it's too much to keep renewing them all. And will they ever sell? You know, some people go, oh, you've got to have the KUK and the .uk.
Are you VAT registered?
No.
Why?
Because I'm not.
But have you done your calculations? I'm really curious. I'm curious. I do not know the right answer, but in some cases it is better to be VAT registered, and in some cases, well,
yeah, I don't think it's appeals to me that much. Yeah, I suppose it can be better to be registered, but I just don't need to be. I just don't want to get any more complicated as it is.
okay.
Yeah, okay. It's at the moment. It's just I'm just trying to keep up with what I'm doing. You know, like, because since getting into like doing the sites and stuff, it's getting quite complicated, because doing deals with affiliates and stuff like that. But because it's so new, I can't even estimate the revenue that I'm making, because I'm just testing the sites to see.
You would be saving. Let us give rough numbers: 20% on your renewal fees. 20%, Sam.
Oh, okay.
That is a lot. Let us say 100K. Let us say 100K.
Yeah.
So 20%. What is the number?
That's not bad, is it? Yeah.
That you should tell that your wife.
Yeah. Yeah, she spends all the money. Yeah, that's the thing. You know, domains are. I think they get
Accountancy fees would be quite similar.
Yeah,
quite
that's it. Phone support for reduction services. I'm not too sure. I think so. Yeah. I'm not too sure. What do you think with that one? I'm not too sure. I've billboards that are redirecting. Are they? I've never really thought of that.
Have you actually tried to make money from domain parking?
Yeah, so I've got some domains that sit there and make domain parking, but the domain parking these days isn't what it is.
So how much do you make?
Not much. It's like I think it's not even. Let's have a look what I've got in here. It's very minimum. I've only got about 5 domains that get the traffic.
Okay.
And oh yeah, I used to have one that made me a decent amount of money. One that used to make me $1,000 a month, but now it's gone down to $1,000 a month to like $100, $200. So it's domain parking. The revenues dropped so badly, right?
Yes.
It used to be good. Now, it to me now it's nothing. You know, it's not even. I just leave it, and then bring it out. You know, cash it out in December or something, and then just buy some beer with it, or buy I don't know, buy something with it, because it's not much. You know what I mean? Like going back to 2003 or what, everyone was making loads of money out of it. But I just domain parking these days is just it's dire. Look, if I tell you what I'm getting on clicks, let's have a look at. Yeah, it's like, because they are getting clicks, yeah, but the clicks, what I'm getting paid for. So clicks, 29. Yeah, I'm getting like 0.10 per click, 29 clicks, and only got $2.98, and that's on bodice. You know, bodies are supposed to be good.
Yeah.
You know, and this is for like technology domain, and that used to earn good money. It's just poor, you know. This is why I said with the domains that have got the traffic or whatever, I'd rather develop and turn them into something else than parking, because parking's dead money these days, unless you've got loads of domains that have got traffic, because some guys do earn a lot, but they've got a lot of domains with parked. You know, some people have got a lot of good traffic names that are getting good CPC, but for me these days, it's just not. It's not earning. I think you're better off selling one domain, and that'll pay for a lot more than a parked domain.
Okay, here's a thought from James. I think he's continuing his thought about redirecting to other sites.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I suppose, yes. Some people do that, and some people will spend, you know, some companies I've had reach out to me before, and because it's not only, a lot of people reach out to me and say they want to buy a domain and they've got a budget of 10 to 20 grand, and normally if I haven't got a name, they'll say, can you go and source it and buy it, and I'll get a commission or whatever, and I get a lot of that because they want to buy it on the sly. Of course, you know, they want to get it cheaper, so I act as a domainer to domainer to try and get it at domain price, and you know, a lot of the time they've got quite big budgets, but a lot of the time you acquire a domain for them, and they'll buy it, and then they'll be like, oh no, we'll buy it, and they bought it, and then I said, oh, so you transfer it over to them, and then in a year's time you look at it, it's not doing anything. They never even did anything with it. They just literally spent all that money to do nothing, and I've had that with multiple people, like, and I'm like, why? And I think a lot of domainers will agree that you'll sell a domain, and then a year later you'll look at it and it hasn't even changed the DNS. You know, your old DNS is still linked to it with the part page.
Absolutely.
So always remember to leave your DNS with the body's parking page or the parking crew, because you'll earn the CPC even though you don't own it.
What are your best traffic names?
Best traffic names. I can find that out now. But, so let's have a look. So I've got mobile betting apps that gets, I don't know, where is it? Got 1,500 views, and it's only the 14th of Jan. That's since January. VWR.uk gets a lot of traffic, 1,600. That's because VWR.com is a UK company.
Wow.
Yeah, if you look at VWR.com, weird names get traffic, like Las Vegas slots and UNK.uk. Oh, okay, so we got REC.uk gets a lot of traffic, another 1,000 views.
REC.
Yeah, REC, like record, and that's short for record. MEY.uk. Just weird names. Espresso Shop. I don't know why I've got that one. I've got some dotcoms are getting good traffic. The FurnitureDirect.com.
FurnitureDirect.com.
Yeah, my CBD shop. I tell you what, yeah, CBD is another big thing in the UK at the moment. I'm getting a lot of inquiries on CBD stuff, CBD names, and .com. Yeah, obviously .com's cannabis and everything else. There's a lot of domains selling in that niche, cannabis, because obviously cannabis is legal in Canada. A lot of domains are selling over there. But yeah, the main ones that are getting traffic are not my best names, but my best names are not parked on Dan, you see. So the ones that I use, the ones I park on Dan are just the bulk load that I've got. So we've got loads of free letters that are getting traffic. Carmag.co.uk, Bramptons. And Bramptons were after it, and their Bramptons.net wanted it, but they offered me like, I don't know, it's like 100 quid. And then yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's just some of these people just haven't got a clue, the value of domain,
Absolutely.
and they'll just never own it because I'll own it.
But then again, and that's the reason why we should talk publicly, Sam. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is what I think as well. The more we'll be talking, the more webmasters will hear our conversations, the more the webmasters will be informed, or SEO specialists, then they will advise their clients. And I think the circle should go.
Well, yeah, that's it. I attended the virtual NamesCon it was last year now. And then I attended Page Howell, which is a big US domainer. He sold 2 dotcoms for $1 million each. And I was on his show, which was the domain show. And there's an interview on there, and a lot of the top guys were on there as well. So he actually asked me to go on there, which is quite good. And he's a really nice guy in the industry. If you ever want to talk about dotcoms or if you want to invest in dotcoms, he's a nice chap to talk to. And because all of the main guys were there, like Braden, and all the big domainers that have got the big names, but they spent a lot of money to get them.
Absolutely.
Because their budget's completely different to some of our budgets.
What is your dream portfolio then?
Dream portfolio would be to own some short one-word dotcoms, things like gold.com, which would probably never happen because they're worth an absolute small fortune. That would be my dream, to own some things like that. But at the moment, to hold some of the best co-UKs, which I do hold some of the best UKs. I've got names like cobra.co.uk, kim.co.uk, rcr.co.uk, API, ASL. I could go on and on. Scorpio.co.uk.
Are you the person who owns wine?
No, I'd love to own wine. Is that owned by domain.co.uk or domain.co.uk?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. So he's got a very good portfolio. Yeah.
I did track his employee on LinkedIn. Yeah. We had a telephone call or something. I said, "Look, let us just let us start a conversation. Let us see."
Yeah. It's got some amazing names. Most of the really, really big names probably never sell. Like I think the chap that had insurance.co.uk, and he was on Acorn, and I think he wanted ridiculous amount of money. But I think you get to a stage where you've been offered so much money, and then if you refuse, you might never get that offer ever again. So you've got to decide what to do. Like if I get a good offer on a name, and I've had it for so long, generally I'll probably sell it, because when I've got that many names, I know it's hard to get rid of some of the names because you're like, oh, this one's 1996. I don't want to let it go.
So there is a question from Dave. Sam, what are your thoughts on the new Dan plus bodice integration? Is it worth enabling or more sales conversions without it?
Okay, so yeah, I have enabled it on some of my domains, but the names that I've enabled it on haven't had any inquiries and haven't sold. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't think it's a good idea to have it enabled unless you've got tons of traffic coming to it and you want to earn a little bit. Because I was looking at the stats of the traffic coming from Dan to bodice and I wasn't getting any clicks. It was just, they were just on there and they were just doing nothing. So I think if you want to sell a domain, you should just have it clear and not have all the parking rubbish all over it. Just have the basic, make it offer, da-di-da, and wait. The offers that I always come through Dan are not the ones where I part through bodice. But I haven't tested it enough. I've only got it on about 5 or 6 names, and I hold 10,000 UKs on there. So I'd suggest just leaving it and not bothering for the amount of minimal 0.10 cent per click. I wouldn't bother, but you can always try it. I'd try it 1 month or 2 months and then go from there. It's like I've tried loads of different things. I've tried the 3-year tier where you have to buy it at a price and then to buy it, lease it to buy and all that. And I put that on for 1 month and I didn't get any sales. I found the make offer and the buy now was better because someone always wants a deal. They see it at a couple of grand and they want a deal. So some people I know that do that. They've got a big portfolio and they'll have them all set at buy now or buy over 3 years. That's if you can afford to do that and not have any sales coming in at all. You've got to try different things. Dan's just easy because I find when someone's going to buy a domain, they click on it, buy now, enter the details, put the credit card in, bang, they've paid for it. They generally can't back out. Whereas I've had loads when I've done privately, go to send the invoice, they never pay for it. Now, that used to really annoy me. So that's why I sort of integrated a lot of my names to Dan because it was quick, easy payment. And they pay within a day,
Oh, okay.
You get the money quickly with Dan. With places like escrow and Transpact are quite good, but places like escrow, it takes forever, because it goes through their system and they're just so slow. I still have to buy names through there because people are like, I've got to use escrow. It's trusted. I've got to use it, So
have you tried? So have you tried Sam's Place Flip? What's yours?
What, Lazarus Place? Yeah, Flip. Yes. Yeah. I've tried that. Yeah, I had a lot of my names listed on there, but mainly people were buying them on for trade prices, aren't they? So I put them on there, but then I thought to myself, I don't really want to sell for trade prices.
Yep.
The thing is, it depends. It's like if you want to sell something for 10 quid on Acorn, you're not really making any money. See, like I like buying off Acorn, but I won't sell anymore. Gone are the days where I put a list up there. I put lists up there when I was selling quite a few LLLs because I have so many, and they were coming up to renewal, and I was selling them for 40, 50 quid or whatever. But I had so many free letters. I have to get rid of some of them, you know, and you have to liquidate something. And yeah, so I do that occasionally, but you know, nowadays I unless I've got like something that I really need to sell, I won't bother listing it, because it takes time, isn't it, to reply to emails and do the invoicing. But then again, you look at it and you think, rather than drop it, it'd be better to get 10-20 quid for it, wouldn't it, you know?
Yes.
So yeah.
What does your mom think you do?
Oh yeah, she knows I'm a internet wheeler and dealer. You know, they just, the older generation they just don't understand that how can you make money off a virtual name?
Yes.
And then when you tell them some of the prices and stuff, they're like, what? You know, how is this possible? It's a name that you bought for, registered for 4 quid or whatever. But it's not just that, you know. You know, I've got names that I've spent a lot of money on, paid a lot of money for. You know, things like Cobra weren't cheap. I had to acquire that. That's a 1995 Reg. I had to acquire that off the old end user.
How much?
And, it was in the high four figures. And you know, and I've got other ones free. I bought a few free letters. I bought ASL, and I had to negotiate for over a year just to get that. And I negotiated for over a year getting it, and I must have had over 150 inquiries for the name, and I still haven't sold it.
Sam, you might want to write down. There is a meetup. It is organized by, I think, Jewish community. It is called Asian Jewish Network, I think.
Okay.
And they were meeting. I love attending events, and I think it was, or hit me up a note, as I will definitely forget, and I will look up the emails or something. And I understand they are really well connected with Cobra owner.
Oh, okay.
Cobra beers, of course.
Yeah, because that would be the ultimate.
Now, once we are talking about leads, I remember when I was at their opening, he was giving a speech. So yes, Jewish, Asian, something Asian Jewish. I've got some photos. I've got to look in my photos, and then I'll remember the exact name. Very nice guys, and attendance was 50 quid or something, and it immediately sorts out the attendees.
Oh, okay.
So very, 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 like really good event. Really,
Okay.
event, yes, and run by Jewish guys in Jewish style. I love it. But if you want to meet that Cobra guy,
yeah, because there's as you know, there's a lot of Cobra businesses. There's actually a large Cobra garden company in the UK. It's called Cobra Garden. There's loads of things, and funny enough though, Cobra I'm actually using. It might not look like I'm using because it's got nothing on it, but I'm using the email because the email address gets a lot of it gets a lot of attention, you know, like, you know, because people, they just seem to speak to you better, and you know what it's like with, if you've got a good domain name, it's the authority that it gives, and the power. And that's another thing that people got to understand. You know, if you're gonna buy a domain like that, you're gonna have to stump the cash up, because I'm using it as email at the moment, and you know, and I always swap between. I've got different ones for different emails. I've got emails all over the place, but obviously I've got my own personal name. You know, I acquired samcharles.com, which I'd been after for a long time. I've got samcharles.co.uk. I acquired the .com. It was owned by DJ, but I was quite fortunate to pick it up in an auction.
Here you go. What's your number one name, Sam? And if you could keep only one, let us give you three. Choice of three. Come on, guys. Sam has got the 15,000 names. Three
okay,
names.
number one domain is service.co.uk.
Oh God. Okay.
And I get a lot of emails for that by mistake, because people want, it's either someone saying, can you service my boiler? Can you service my this? Can you service my washing machine? You know, and I'm getting why haven't you replied to my email? It's been 4 days, and I think they're and like service my car, and it's like they're all going to this email address, and I don't reply, but I'm just getting these odd emails. So yeah, obviously service.co.uk. What's that?
Asking price?
About 150 grand if you've got the money, you know.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's a name that I don't really want to sell. That's another one that cost me a lot of money, you know. But I'll just bring up, let's have a look what I've got here, what other nice names. I can't remember them all, so I've got things like jokes.co.uk, butterflies, tulips, Oliver, Sahara, Twin, Judith,
Twin. Okay.
Tutu. Yeah, so Twin's another one, a good one. They're for the list on my names. You know, I've got so many more, but you know, I can't even think of all the names that I have, because if I go, my mind at the end of the day is just so boggled, because I'm like, right, I've got so many domains in my head, and I'm like, that's the problem. Like sometimes you can't sleep because you're domained out.
What is the name? What are the names you have cashed in the most?
What names have I cashed in the most?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. I've got one on my head.
You're crazy, Sam. That's fantastic. That is when you go.
Yeah, so yeah. So I sold a free letter. I'm not going to tell you the price, but I sold a free letter a couple of years ago. It was to an oil rig company,
Okay.
and that cashed in good. IOG, and that was I caught that for reg fee. So yeah, that was a good one. That was a couple of years ago now, and yeah, it's like I said to you, the range is the price range is always in between is in the thousands, you know, like in it, not in the 6-figure, 7-figure range. Co-UKs just don't go in that range. A lot of them don't go in that range. Some of them do, and dotcoms are always in it. You know, if you look at the sales stats every week, you'll see, you know. But then again, if you're selling a few of these names in the 1,000 range, it soon adds up. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Sam,
Yeah.
what are your biggest regrets?
Biggest regrets, probably
not
buying. I was involved. I got involved in the 2-letter auctions and the 1-letter auctions when Nominate released them in the auctions. I should have bid on a few 2-letters, because 2-letter domains are they're the ones that are going to fetch the 20, 30 money. They're going to fetch the good money, the biggest money out of you know. If you're going to get a good 2-letter, you can get good money for it. If you've got a single letter, you can get even better money for it. So I regret not bidding on them. You know, I was bidding on some, but I didn't. I just let a lot of them go. I think EE got theirs for only about £4,000. You know, EE network, EE was bidding, and they only, yeah, that's it. Right, so I regret not bidding on them.
It was recently dropped in Belgium, EE,
Really?
and the market went crazy.
Did it?
Drop catchers starting auctioning it already up front, and yes, when I saw that auction, I hope that nobody would see it, but no, it went and I said bye bye. Yes,
Yeah.
and somebody dropped that name.
No way. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the funny thing. You think to yourself, why are these people dropping the name? But maybe they don't know. Maybe the owner has just gone AWOL. And what I found is I've had companies contact me before, and they said, our domain, we can't access it anymore. And I said, what am I meant to do? And they go, well, the owner was a guy that was our graphic designer, and he did the work, and he's holding the name because we had to let him go. And I'm like, I've had to deal with all sorts of stuff, because they contact me because they think I can resolve it, you know, whereas obviously normally I say to them, look, you're just going to have to DRS it. You're going to have to DRS that name and get it back through Nominate, because there's no way I can get a hold of this graphics guy and get it off him, because it's registered under his email address. And you're getting a lot of this. The companies just let Joe Blogs register the domain, and that's why a lot of them are dropping a lot of the good names. You know what I mean? Like they don't understand it.
I see this mistake over and over. Even today, companies allow web designers, SEO specialists, graphic designers to register their company names. That's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I said to them, it's crazy. I said, why would you do that? You know, it's such a large company. And they were like, oh, yeah, whatever it costs, we'll get it back. And I'm like, it was a crap name as well. I was like, it was like a .org.uk. And you know, I've had it loads, you know. And
so you catch a name like that. You catch a name like that. Then a company comes to you, and what are your conversations? And can we actually carry on like 10-15 minutes more? We already
no worries. I've caught names before, and I've depending who they are and if they're charities and stuff like that, and if they are if they're generally lost their business or whatever, I'll just hand the name back, because I can't be bothered with the reputation, you know. But some charities I've said, look.
Oh, charities, yes.
Yeah, for charities, because you know, because a lot of them, but they always put the excuse of, you know, we forgot to renew it. And I said, so the domain's suspended, you know, wouldn't you have noticed that? You wouldn't be able to get email then? And like, I have dealt with companies that have got funny and said, oh, this is our domain, we forgot to renew it, and our registrar forgot to renew it. And I said, well, it's tough luck, it's not mine, you can buy it now if you want.
Put them on Flip.
Yeah.
Once a request comes in, you know, okay, 5 minutes it is on Flip, and then you just tell, look, there is an auction running for it. You can participate.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, you know, I used to do that, and a lot of the time I'll just put a bin on it, and I'll leave it there with no reserve. They've just got to buy it, or that's it. You know, so I do a lot of that. I think if you want a peaceful life and you don't want to deal with negotiation, you just put a bin price, no offers, leave it. You know, if they really want to buy it and you put a good price, I don't know, $2,000, $3,000 or whatever, nothing too crazy. They will buy it if they want it. You know, with my quantity of domains, I know the majority I'll just have priced at reasonable prices, whereas the high end I like to negotiate. You know,
Let me double check one name before I drop it. I should have it. Can I ask you yes? on two names,
Yeah.
what would be the reasonable prices? Not the American.com ones. So teens, so Tango, Echo, N, Nigeria, S, Sierra, .co.uk.
What's that one? Say that again.
Teens.
Teams. Oh, right. Yeah, I got you.
Teenagers, teens. Teens.co.uk includes the .uk. And another one, un-s.com.
UN-S.
Two totally different domains.
Yeah. UN-S. I don't know what you're going to do with that one.
I bought it just to be. I bought it just to be able to. So there is this drop catching system, and I wanted to test it out. And in order to participate there, I had to have some activity, some money spent on the platform. So I just saw that domain and okay, I bought that. I bought it there.
Yeah, no, I don't think you'll be able to sell you the UN-S. I don't think you get much for that at all. Teens, Teens is a good one. Have you ever thought about developing it into anything?
I've thought, I'm actually, but yes, yes, I actually wanted my wife to have a business on it, but then I did receive one offer from Manchester, the grey market, and they wanted to develop it into adult website, and I was I do know adult industry really well. Really well, though that industry, the web industry, is so small, and they are really cool guys. You would be surprised. I don't know if you know them or not, but
yeah. So I think it's I think the domain's good. It's probably about it's in the 10 grand plus figure that I'd sell it for. But if you develop it, it'd be in higher. But then again, what would you do with it? You don't want to turn it into you can either turn it into a pornographic site or into, I don't know.
I bought it on Acorns. I just had the money. Then sometimes you sit on the money, and it came on Acorns, and it was there for a minute or something. It's been offered 1,500. I bought it for 1,500.
Nice. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe whoever is watching, maybe you can. Who sold it to me?
Yeah.
Just say, hey, it was me.
Yeah. So I think if it was developed, you're going to potentially make more money, and then you could obviously sell it for more.
I'm thinking exactly the same about service.
Yeah.
Exactly the same thing.
Yeah, because that's what I'm thinking of. Definitely doing something with service. Because you could do everything, couldn't you? All different services, and then you could have a where people log in and offer their services. There's even a script, and so tempting, even a like WordPress site to put on the back end of it. So yeah, that might be another project for me.
Just put up some classifieds.
Yeah.
Yes, I've got one hobby classifieds project. Alexa rank is 100K, and
it's got to be done. It's just getting around to doing it, because I've got a fleet of sites that I'm trying to update, and it takes a bit of time, because I do a lot of blogging as well on sites, so that takes time, and then buying domains, blogging, doing these things, and getting emails from multiple people, and then dealing with all the UK stuff in the day, and then during the night it's the US stuff, and then and then before you know it, you're waking up again, and you're like, right, I've got to start again, and then you're piling up on the coffee, So yeah, it's a lot of people say, oh yeah, domainers just roll out of bed, look at their sales, and then just chill out during the day. Well, it's not like that if you're professionally in it and you're doing it, hardcore.
Sam, once we round up, what would be your suggestion to a new domainer, to a young domainer, fresh green?
What would be my suggestion?
Yes, or advice?
Rather than register or catch just willy-nilly names, I'd go out, buy a couple of good solid names, and if you've got time and if you've got the skills, I'd develop just one of those names and try and make some money out of it, because I think it's more beneficial to make money out of one site and just keep trying to catch all these random names all the time, because you sell a domain, you get that one big price and then you never get it back. But I think with new domainers, I think you need to look at what you're registering, and stick to the niches that you know as well. There's so many different niches. I just literally go with everything and anything, because I know what sells in what niche, and I know what what's going on. But it's difficult because there's so much new technology and everything coming out, and so many new things coming out. You can target everything, but you look at what's registered in different extensions and go from there. But don't go registering 500 or 1,000 names at once, because your renewals will start to go up.
Only pros do that.
yeah. You get to a certain stage where you lost count of your names, and like some people, like some of the domainers have a portfolio of like 10, 20 solid names, but how many, how often are you going to sell a name? Like I prefer to deal in bulk, because I have a better sell-through rate, and I take advantage of any promos and just that's the way I do it. I've got 3 strategies, so I've got promo deals, promo names, and then I've got mid-tier names, and then I've got top-end names, right? So I've got 3 different ways of sales, and then obviously then I'm doing the sites. But the sites are new for me. That's a new venture, and I'm hopefully planning on building on that, and building the good names out. And I think if you were to sell the name with the business attached, with the website attached, you're going to get more money. It's like the guys that I speak to in the gambling industry that build up the gambling sites. They make a certain amount of revenue, and then they sell it on to the gambling company. They get a lot of money, because they built it up and they built a customer base, and I think that's the best way to do it. If you can, you've got to try things. There's no good just sitting looking at your domains going, oh, they're for sale, someone might buy them, one day. Try other things, because instead of just keep registering domains.
And that quick thought, what is more profitable, cryptos or domains?
Domains.
That was quick.
Yeah. I just I got involved in crypto, like coins and bitcoins years ago, but I wasn't that fascinated with it. And if you speak to anyone, they've probably made most domainers that have been in industry probably as long as me have made more money in domains than crypto. I know you could profit. I know the profit on Bitcoin's gone up and down, and you could sell it out and do this, but it's fluctuating so much, and the price is going up so much. It's too much of a risk. With my domains, they haven't done that. All they've done is gone up,
and quite often there is no reason why something happens.
No, there's no reason. And it's just, and people think, oh yeah, it's worth $40,000 a coin, and I can just I can cash out. Well, it's not as simple as that. You can't just cash it all out. You've got to be able to sell it to someone. you know, you've got to pay that exchange, or you've got to pay that price to someone to get it out. And you know, there's probably a lot of people that have become millionaires out of Bitcoin, but there's probably a lot of people that lost money out of it as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know, like it's like if all the Bitcoin guys and the guys that got into Bitcoin are like invested in domains, you're going to be a lot richer investing in domains than Bitcoin. So just come over to the co-UK scene, yeah, and buy all my domains. Yeah.
And what would you, if GoDaddy comes and says, Sam,
Hmm.
we want to buy you,
Yeah.
your portfolio. Have you
Yeah.
got the price in your head?
I'll probably take 4.5 million. That'll do.
So you definitely got the price.
Yeah. So obviously, if I sold out, it would have to be in the £1 million range, depending. But I have spoken to GoDaddy before. They deal with portfolios of, I think it's 20, 30,000 plus names.
Okay.
They don't tend to deal with co-UKs. They tend to just like dotcoms.
Oh.
I only spoke to them because someone reached out to me once before from GoDaddy and said, "Oh, we'd be interested in UK domains, in co-UK domains." And I reached out to the chairman or whatever, and I had a chat with him, and you know, they were kind enough, but maybe in the future they will invest in co-UK domains.
So another reason to move into the .coms.
Yeah, obviously, I'd need to bulk up. I need to get to 30,000 .coms.
And decent ones.
Not necessarily that. If you look at some of the portfolios they bought over the years, a lot of the .coms that are in the portfolios weren't very good.
They haven't really bought many portfolios. They bought Birkins.
Yeah, they bought one.
They bought Mr. Shilling
Silkwood. Shillings. They bought someone out recently, but I don't know. I'm not too sure who it is. You know, they've just got a lot of money to buy out people, you know, with nice portfolios. But it has to be a great amount of domains, but they only pay a fraction of what they're worth.
They're paying something $60 to $80, and of course, Mr. 1 gallon, go. Thank you. Absolutely fantastic. Like, it blows my mind. Great. Yes. So, what are they paying? $60 to $80 per domain?
Yeah, it's very low. You know, it's a very low price they give you per domain. You know, that's the thing. You know, like you know, if it's a big portfolio and it's such a low amount, they're cashing out, but they're still getting quite a bit of money. You know, if they want to get out of the game completely, Frank Schilling wanted to get out of the game, and if you look at his Instagram, you'll see why. You know, he's got his Bentleys and his Ferraris and everything.
Well, but in GoDaddy's case, it is. I absolutely understand them. As I haven't got that many domains, but again, LLs, they do get traffic, type in traffic, and I direct that traffic directly to HostMaria, and for them, that's gold. That traffic, that's the gold.
Yeah, that's it.
And they will always sell that, and they control those names.
Yeah, it's you know, like I met Frank Schilling years ago. I think when he first started Uni Registry, and I met him in a restaurant in London, and it was a domain event, and I didn't know he was coming, but Angie Anyweb, she organised him. Well, she knew he was coming, and he came to this restaurant, and I started chatting to him about Uni Registry and, you know, how he started it, how he founded it. It was crazy because he didn't have staff originally, and all his servers were offshore.
Yes.
Everything was in the Caymans, so there's no tax involved. He literally sold his house to buy loads of dotcoms back in 2003, and he loads were dropping, and he was just picking them up. And back in 2003, people weren't really bothered. You know what I mean? People weren't really like, and he was just registering all sorts. But yeah, if you could rewind to 2003 and start registering loads of dotcoms, you'd be quids in, because everything now gets swiped by all the big registrars and goes into auction.
Okay, and Mr. Van Galen, I understand Dutch market is actually quite strong, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Dutch market.
Yeah, because I had a few people buy freeletter.uk's from Dutch people, you know, but
I love Dutch.
like .de is a very good market. I haven't invested in it, but
Are you serious?
yeah, a lot of guys are saying they've been selling .de's, and they're just as good as co.uk. Well, just as good sell-through rates co.uk. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I always thought .eu's, they just don't have the soul, you know. Everybody is like, either you are British or German or Swede, and well, they would prefer their names. Only logistics companies, I thought, were after EUs. But you are saying that the market is good there.
Well, from what the couple of guys that I speak to that invest in them, they said they sell quite a few of them, but they're buying quite a few at a time. Yeah, you know, they'll buy 500 to 1,000 names, but they're buying them again in promo prices. But you know.
Okay. Yes. So there is a thought you needed presence for DE. I'm not sure about DE, so that's Germany. About DE, you
I don't think you do you?
About EU, you actually you have to have a EU something. Now the Brits are locked out.
So maybe you could use a DE PO box address. There's ways of getting around it, you know. I think at one stage I was trying to invest in the Canadian extension, and but they, you know, I registered a Canadian address, but they still figured out I was from the UK, because obviously I was logged in on a UK IP address. Yeah.
So Mr. Van Galen is asking, what do you think about the domain name videosonline.com? So clearly advertising, there is nothing wrong with that. Smart advertising. I think,
it's right, isn't it?
Yeah, why not? So what do you think of it?
Yeah, it's not bad. Videos online.
I think Adam Dicker did.
Isn't this?
Didn't you just agree with Adam Dicker that he will broker it for you? He was supposed to come up with an update, and let us remember that next Wednesday. I'm planning to put Sam together with Adam Dicker on Wednesday.
You must be able to provide authorized.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. I know that.
All right, yeah. So yeah, because I was, maybe it's changed, because a chap I know that lives in Portugal, he registers lots of .de's. I don't know how he gets around it.
Chap in Portugal. There is one famous chap in Portugal.
Which one?
Andrew.
Yes.
Yes. Well, media options.
What's that?
Media options.
Yeah, media options. Yeah, it's not media options guy.
I'm trying to approach him.
How are you? Have you got hold of him yet?
No, he doesn't answer, but I'm sure he sees the tweets.
Okay.
We'll get him. We'll have a chat with him.
Yeah.
He's way too outgoing and awesome.
You have to join. I can get you in and maybe in a Zoom chat with him, because
Yes,
I've been in a few of Braden and Michael Seiger and the rest of them. He's a bit crazy. You get him in a Zoom.
A bit crazy. But Sam, the crazy guys are awesome, aren't they?
Yeah, they are crazy. Yeah, you know, the Americans are very lively, but they don't. You know, there was one particular chat I was having one day. I woke. No, I was talking to them one day. I woke up in the morning. They're still talking. I said, "You've been talking for 17 hours."
Well,
You know. So yeah, crazy.
Mr. Roster, of course. So, yes, what would be your offer? Would you like to make an offer for videosonline.com?
No, I'm all right.
No, Sam is all right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you, Sam. Sam,
It's all right. I need to, crack on and register more domains tonight.
awesome. And then probably see you on Wednesday together with Adam.
Yeah, that's fine. Great.
That will be fun. Okay, and the last words to everybody.
Just have a good evening, and don't register too many domains.
Go for it.
Thanks a lot.